Outsourcing is a tough sell in any language. But what happens if your job requires you to do it? In France, it even goes against the national grain. Carol Graffin is an international mobility specialist in human resources and is rebranding outsourcing. She's joining us from France via Skype. Welcome to the Language of Business.
Bonjour, Greg.
Bonjour à vous. So, Carol, tell us what caused you to come to France originally?
Well, I first moved to France after graduating from Durham in the UK. I did a French major. And during the course of my studies, I decided that I wanted to combine my love of French and my love of the French way of life with a career in business. What I didn't realize was I'd still be here 23 years later.
And how did you actually combine the two? Was it luck? Was it clairvoyance? Or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. As a student, I did some internships in an auditing company in London, one of what was then the big four firms, and they found me the job in Paris.
What exactly is a mobility specialist?
Well, Greg, as an international mobility specialist, I help companies move their employees around the world. So I help them develop policies that cover the legal, the tax, the social security aspects. But most importantly, in my mind, I also help them make sure that they put in place the right policies to ensure that the families adapt to their new life abroad. Because as I know personally only too well, it's easier said than done to go and live in a new country.
And are you primarily moving them from France to other locations or from other locations to France itself?
Well, when I first started out, it was mostly from France to other locations. And right now I'm seeing a real increase in what we specialists call third country moves. So cross-border moves that don't involve France. So the parent company is French, but they're shifting their employees from Brazil to Slovakia, from Thailand to China, from Korea to North America. So it's really is a worldwide field of play.
Are most of your clientele French, either the executives themselves or the companies whom you represent?
Yeah, the major proportion of them are French multinationals and French executives who are moving around the world.
So is it a positive or a negative that you're not French?
I personally feel it's definitely a positive, for the simple reason is that I've been through what these families are going through and what I'm trying to accompany them through. And so it lends a lot more weight to the advice that I give. The fact that I myself have personally moved abroad and lived abroad and learned how to adapt to living in a new culture. So for me, definitely an advantage.
How do you think the companies that you provide services to perceive you?
Well, up until now, the companies that I provide services to have all come to me through my personal network. So they perceive me as the specialist that I am and that I am known to be in the international mobility network in France.
How do you brand your services differently than your competition?
Well, I focus my services very much on myself, in that I try to brand my experience, my personal experience, be it technical or personal life, and on the fact that the service that I provide is very much an individual, tailored service. Because many of my competitors are much larger structures than I am, so their services are delivered by platform-based consultants. So you never know who you're going to get when you pick up the phone and when you call when you have a problem. And I have very much adopted and rely on that personal approach that allows me to know all of my expats and all of the companies that I work for. So they know that when they call, no matter when they call, no matter what time of night or day, it's me that they get to speak to.
Do you find that the branding is done differently in France than it would be in other European countries for your type of business?
For my type of business, it's very difficult to say because the outsourcing, which is basically what I do, is companies outsource their international mobility to me, is very, very new and underused in France right now. As a whole, the French market is not very open to innovative services. You know, in France, everything that we sell and that we export and that we're known for, the wine, the luxury leather goods, is based on generations of family history and tradition. And the French are very wary of anything new. So most of the people in the market right now are global players who are trying to brand and market their services based on their global positioning. And it's not taking off as well as people thought it would.
It's not taking off well in France, or it's not taking off well from the company's perspective?
In France, because people in France are very closely linked to their company, and the idea of outsourcing services, which in France is still very new. I know it's something that's much more common in the Anglo-Saxon market, but outsourcing services for a company is very badly looked upon. It's as if you're trying to cut jobs, save money, and people don't see the positive side of outsourcing to specialists who can provide the company with the expertise that they can't necessarily afford to have in-house.
So even if your expertise is double or triple what a company might have in-house, it's still viewed as a pejorative.
Exactly. And it takes that personal relationship, which is very important in French culture as a whole, the building of the personal relationship to make the outsourcing happen. And that's why I personally have chosen to brand my services based on my experience and who I am, and the fact that I am always on the file. Because in France in particular, it's that personal relationship that is much more important than any global branding, particularly when you're dealing with people.
Are you ever looking to leverage your brand into a new suite of services?
It's something I'm currently giving some thought to. I'd very much like to move into some web-based tools. But right now, as an individual entrepreneur, it's the kind of development that I'm not quite ready to fund.
Carol, thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Carol Graffin, International Mobility Specialist in Human Resources, joining us from France via Skype. Made local and bought local. Sounds like an interesting trend. That's going to be the focus of our next episode on the language of business.
U.S. manufacturing is coming back home. Next time on The Language of Business. To learn more about branding, marketing, and positioning, go to bclob.com.